So I just wanted to do a quick video on my EGO Power Head. I actually had this unit fail. I was using it with the chainsaw attachment, and I was at full speed, cutting a relatively big branch, and it bound up and stopped the motor instantly. When it did that, it burnt up one of the FETs on the original speed controller board. And so it was still under warranty, so I didn't want to mess around with it too much. I, contacted EGO on their Facebook. They turned around and got me a new one out in a couple of days and said, hey, that old one, recycle it or do whatever. So I was originally just going to take it apart and keep some parts or spares. But then I found, as I was tearing it apart, and this is the factory speed controller. You can see actually two of these failed on one of the three phases. They are just kind of universal. They can add more FETs wherever they want to take on more load. Some of these I've seen with just one set. This one has two. I would imagine the bigger devices fill these up a little bit more. But I ended up frying just two of these on one of the phases. So what would happen is I knew it was the speed controller because you can hit the trigger and the motor would just twitch because these are hull-less boards. It couldn't figure out which direction it was going, and we weren't firing properly on all three phases, so it just wouldn't go. So anyways, when I tore this apart, got me to thinking, well, I could probably use a three-phase RC car speed controller and play around with the thing, maybe give it some more life. So I got to Googling, and actually I ran across this guy's page. I'll put a link up here on Facebook, and he used this controller here for a blower. He did some experimenting and saved me all of that headache. So I bought the exact same board off of Amazon. You'll see in his link, he was concerned with airflow. He actually mounted his heatsink within the blower housing. So the leaf blower air was actually forced over the heatsink to keep it cool. This has a similar design in that the original motor is here, actually fits in here. And the case is designed that it sucks air in past the old speed controller that used to be here. I had the same heat sink on it. So it used to force that air through the heat sink, through the motor, and then out the exhaust in the back. So I'm going to do the same thing. I did remove this factory heat sink that came with this Amazon hull-less controller. I just went ahead and retapped, threaded the original heatsink so that it will fit down in here. I'm going to have to cut a little bit away here to get it to fit the way I want, but eventually that speed controller will sit in there like that, allowing that air to still flow through the heatsink, through the motor and out. Hopefully keep it cool. We'll see. We'll see if this motor's too much. But it was really easy. I'm glad I found his link. I actually reused the pot in this trigger. And let's give it a test now that I've got the heat sink. Slap this battery on here. You can see it activates the on off, and then the throttle or the speed control through the potentiometer actually works. What did I do here? I think I've got my battery seated. Trying to do it with half of an enclosure here. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Let's try that again. I could feather it at full speed. And it works so far. I haven't tried it with a tool on it and a real load yet. That'll be next. I'll do another kind of follow-up video. But I just wanted to show you guys the kind of the inside of this. For you that play around with the new AC motor RC cars are familiar with a little three-phase motor, three-phase AC. It's just like those, so pretty easy. There's not a lot to this thing. Little fuse in here, the actual power on-off switch, and within the same enclosure, there's a 25K potentiometer, a linear. So as you pull the trigger, it slides across that resistive pad and gives you a variable output. So no other modifications needed to this board from Amazon. I'll put a link below in the description as well for this board. Really, you follow his link up there at the top. And, he has more info as well as links on his YouTube as well. Pretty painless. I'm not going to have to modify this very much to make it work. Pretty excited to show you guys when it's done. Hopefully I'm chainsawing again with my old one that I was going to destroy. Thanks for watching, guys.